Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Days and welcome to this unseen video where we round up all the big talking points from social media. Let's get straight into the WWE folder. So this news doing the rounds, John Cena's opponent for his last ever WrestleMania reportedly revealed. And if you're anything like me, you expected to click on that and see that it was going to be Cody Rhodes, right? John Cena versus Cody Rhodes has long been rumored. I would say pretty much since that first episode of Raw on Netflix. As soon as The Rock kind of made it known that he was not going to be at WrestleMania, I'd say ever since then, John Cena versus Cody Rhodes has been the rumor, right? But actually, no, Sportskeeda are theorizing. They are thinking that it could end up being Logan Paul. And the reason they got there is because Zero News has put a image out of CM Punk and Cody Rhodes face to face, right? That kind of insinuates that it could be Cody Rhodes versus CM Punk at Mania. That would then lead to the question, well, what does this mean for Cena? And we know that Cena eliminated Logan at the Rumble. We know they're both going to be in the Chamber, and there could be something there. We know that Logan put out a thumbnail that called John Cena a snake. So the only reason that I'm bringing this to you isn't because it's coming from a good source. Zero News is not a source that I regard as highly as Fightful, PW Insider, etc., etc. But Sportskeeda have picked up on it, and I got tagged in this a few times today. So really, it's just about you knowing what rumors are out there. As of right now, I still expect John Cena versus Cody Rhodes to be what we end up getting at WrestleMania. But just know that there are a few little grumbles, a few little rumors, a few little thoughts circulating that we may end up not going in that direction, and we may end up with like CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes. We know there's people backstage that were pushing for CM Punk to kind of be moved over into that match with Cody to make it actually a triple threat. But then reports came out that that wasn't like going to happen. So it is a little bit messy. There is a lot of chat that's kind of doing the rounds, but nothing concrete. And at the moment, I still expect the main events of WrestleMania 41 to be Roman versus Punk versus Seth for night one in a triple threat, and I expect John Cena versus Cody Rhodes night 2 for the WWE Championship, right? That's what I'm expecting, but just know there are other thoughts, other rumors that are just doing the rounds. The frustrating thing with Sportskeeda is they don't just report stuff from good sources like PW Insider, WrestleVotes, Fightful. They will scrape the bottom of the barrel as well, right? Really, anything that's going to result in clicks for them, and they will happily do it, right? So I do find them to be quite a frustrating outlet when it comes to wrestling news, but I'd just like you to know about what's being rumored and what's out there, yeah? Okay, let's move on to something that feels a bit more concrete than that, and that is this. Demolition have been considered for induction into the WWE Hall of Fame. Now, I don't think this is a massive surprise because they've recently just gone back under Legends contracts, which means we can get merch, we can get figures, and it means they can go into a Hall of Fame. So you would only really do that if bridges had been built again, because they were really on the outside of WWE for a long time. But it looks like fences have been mended, bridges have been built, and I would love to see these guys go into the Hall of Fame. They definitely deserve it. Bit of a shame if Crush doesn't go in with them. Crush was in that group for about 12 months, and he definitely contributed, but it was towards the end of the group's lifespan. Really, the bulk of it was Axe and Smash, so I don't know, I'd like to see Crush go in as well, personally. I don't see why he couldn't, but yeah, I just think that's great news, exciting news, but far from confirmed that it's going to happen. But they could be the tag team that get inducted in this year's Hall of Fame. So, Mattel, thank you. Christopher, thank you. Elite Rockers, this was the other day, and we did include it in Unseen. They said per PW Insider, Road Dogg Brian James has been named as the new co-lead writer for Smackdown, and there was quite a bit of kickback on that. Quite a lot of people not loving that idea. And AJ Styles has just a couple of hours ago come out with this message. I think he has seen a lot of those comments. And AJ Styles said, before judging this guy from his past performance as head writer, just know there was a man, Vince, who picked it apart to the point that it was no longer his ideas anymore. So there we go. AJ Styles basically saying, don't judge this guy on the past. Because when Vince was in charge, the ideas he had didn't really end up on screen because Vince would pull them apart. So I feel that way as well. I mean, there are people that are down on it because it does feel a little bit like Triple H kind of getting his mates in charge of stuff like, you know, Shawn Michaels is looking after NXT, Road Dogg's now co-lead writer for SmackDown. I mean, are we going to get X-Pac or Billy Gunn as co-lead writer for Raw? Are we just going to have like DX just in charge of creative in WWE? So it does feel a little bit like that, but I don't know. He might be good. He might be good. And I think this was a fair comment from AJ Styles. Right, there was a report that did the rounds a few years ago that WWE superstars, when they hit the main roster, they get about $200,000 to $250,000 as a salary every year. That's like minimum. There's a lot of people like Brock that was on, I think, 10, 12. Same with Roman. I think Becky was on like 5, maybe. I think Seth was on about 7, something like that. These are the sort of numbers that those stars are earning, right, in millions. But if you're someone that's just going to the main roster, then you're picking up like 350,000 if you're coming up from, say, NXT, right, and going and being used. So like a Lyra Valkyria, right, 350,000 a year, that kind of thing, right? Obviously, I don't know what she's earning, but that's when that's the minimum, right? But a few years ago, not that long ago, it was about 250,000. So it really has gone up. And I don't begrudge the wrestlers that, but I can't help but look at this and think, you know, does it connect in any way to the high cost of the ticket prices now? It's probably a dangerous thought, to be honest, because I think the bulk of the money that WWE gets comes from sponsorship and, more importantly, TV deals. You know, the money from Netflix, the money from Saudi Arabia, the money from Peacock, the money from USA Network. You know, that absolutely overshadows the money they make from tickets. So it is a dangerous thought because honestly, you could bring that number down and the ticket prices could still stay where they are. So yeah, I don't begrudge it them. You know, we love watching WWE. We all have got our favourite superstars. I want them to earn a good living. But I can't help keep thinking about ticket prices being so high. I can't help but thinking about those families that now struggle to kind of go to the shows because they're being priced out, you know? That is unfortunate. But as I said, probably dangerous to kind of think that way. But interesting. I'm sure some people didn't have any idea as to kind of how much wrestlers were earning. So that is a minimum. Right, should we go over to Adam Pearce and see what they've got in store for us for this week's Raw?
Happy Sunday after Vengeance Day, as I now turn my attention to Monday Night Raw live tomorrow night from Charlotte. Proud to announce #1 contenders match for the Women's Intercontinental Championship, Dakota Kai one-on-one with Ivy Nile. And by now, everybody's seen the footage of the Jade Cargill aftermath. Yes, Bianca Belair and Naomi will be in the house tomorrow night. I'm sure that's going to be fun. Speaking of fun, we heard what Sami Zayn said on Friday night. What's he going to say on Raw? Tune in to find out. And don't forget, less than 2 weeks away from the Chamber, last 2 qualifiers. Roxanne Perez goes one-on-one with Raquel Rodriguez. And Finn Balor takes on Seth freaking Rollins. That and so much more live tomorrow night from Charlotte, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on Netflix. And TNA superstar Chris Bay, we are thinking of you. You are going to beat this 1 foot in front of the other. That, my brother, is official.
That was nice. I hadn't actually watched this. So little thing there for Chris Bay, who obviously suffered a horrific injury last year. I believe it was in TNA during a match. And really now, starting to see footage of him trying to learn how to walk again and all of that. I mean, it's just heartbreaking stuff. So that's a lovely little gesture at the end there from Adam Pearce. So there we go. That's a few things we can expect from this week's Raw, right? Let's go over to LFG because that was a pretty big thing that went down today. So LFG is this new Legends and Future Greats. It's a bit like Tough Enough, but it's not people trying to get a WWE contract. I think it's people that are signed to WWE that are trying to get like an NXT contract. What I don't quite know is, does that mean like if you get an NXT contract, that's them saying you're ready for NXT TV, right? Because I've never really thought about that. Like when you come into the Performance Center, you've got to get to a certain level, a certain standard before they will let you go onto TV. Once you go onto TV, do you have to sign a new contract then? Do they get like a little bump in their wage for doing that as well? I genuinely don't know. I've never heard of that. But maybe we'll find that out through this program. So really good feedback coming back from this. Like people are buzzing about it, saying they enjoyed it. I've not had a chance to watch it yet, but we can just have a little walk through some of the stuff that's online about it. So commentary team for WWE LFG. So Jeremy Borash from TNA. I don't think it's with TNA. I think he moved over to WWE a long time ago. But he is on commentary as well. So with Vic Joseph. So that looks like it should be a really good commentary team, right? Lot of so Jang Tae-sang, thank you. Alicia Taylor said, I'm excited to share that I am a part of this incredible new series. I'm honored to work with these legends. So you can see the poster there. Those are all of the recruits, the talent that they're working with. These are the legends. I think these are the ones that are there kind of each week. I think Punk might just pop in for an episode or so. But Alicia Taylor is going to be the ring announcer for the match side of things. This was a little video that Triple H put out, right? And this was him. There was a little thing on his desk, which is about Lemmy here, there. I was like, what's that? And it said, the spirit of Lemmy, Triple H. Now, Lemmy was the lead singer of Motorhead, who, would sing Triple H's songs, but they were an amazing band in their own right. Triple H, a massive fan. So it looks like a little something here, a little gift to Triple H connected with Motorhead and Lemmy. That just caught my eye, and I was like, that's cool. That was a nice little thing. But then, look, you've got Shawn talking to Triple H, and they're just talking about, like, oh, well, should we do this show? We've got all this talent. We've only got so much TV time. Like, what can we do with them? And then, like, you're kind of seeing that LFG show kind of being, like, constructed, the concepts kind of come into life. So really interesting. It just runs for like 2 minutes 50, so we wouldn't have time to watch that. But if you want to watch that clip, you can do on Triple H and Shawn Michaels' X accounts. Triple H saying, for these athletes, getting the chance to learn from this set of legends is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. For you, this is an unprecedented look behind the curtain and an opportunity to see the process of becoming a WWE superstar. So those guys tweeting out this as today obviously was the day that episode 1 would air. Bubba Ray Dudley touts Zena as a breakout star for WWE LFG. So he seems to be quite high on her. We might have a clip of her promo, which is not very good. All I would say is you got to remember, these are people that are not NXT ready. I do worry a little bit that the internet's going to be quite harsh with these guys because they're going to judge them by what they see on TV. And, you know, these guys are not that level. Like, these guys are going to make mistakes, and making mistakes is going to be okay. So certainly I'm not looking to like poke fun at any of these people for them not being at like the standard we see on Raw or SmackDown, or even the standard we see on NXT. Don't fall into that trap. You got to remember, these are people that are literally just at the bottom of the ladder, starting out on their journey, right? So we will have a look at her promo, just because I think, you know, quite often people will say, God, that's a really bad promo. But actually, you're going to see what a bad promo looks like. And even the judges, even like Undertaker and everyone are like, I just didn't feel that. That was a bathroom break moment. So when we say it's a bad promo, we're not being harsh, we're just being honest, right? And I think even Zena would agree, like looking back, that it was not to standard, yeah? So we will have a look at that in a second. Word of Wrestling said these are the official rules. So the future greats will be broken into teams of 4, and then each will get their own legend to kind of learn from. Each week, a legendary coach will be awarded a point if a member of their team is declared a standout, right? The future greats are all competing for a new NXT contract. The thing I don't understand is, does that then get them onto NXT TV? I'm guessing it does. So, yeah, pretty straightforward stuff, right? It's like Tough Enough, really. Right here, some of the current WWE Performance Center strength and conditioning leaderboard standings. So I always love a little glimpse of this. Logan gave us a glimpse of this in one of his vlogs ages ago. And you can just see like the women, the men, lots of names I don't recognize. Lots of people that are coming through. But you've got like there, Troy Yearwood. Don't know. But I can see Dion Lennox, right? This Troy Yearwood gets mentioned a lot, actually. Troy Yearwood is at the top of quite a bit here. So he definitely seems... And Dion Lennox gets mentioned quite a bit. Obafemi is mentioned here. Cutler James, who I believe is in that new group. But here we got Sol Ruka. So Sol Ruka is mentioned there. I was trying desperately to like read them, but there is just a lot of names that I don't recognize. I think there's a lot of really good talent, that kind of next in line talent that has yet to kind of hit TV. Maybe a lot of them are in this group, you know, in this LFG show. I'm sure some of them we will see on Evolve as well when that gets going in March. Gabe Sapolsky says every indie wrestler should be watching LFG on A&E. This is free coaching and a perspective of what WWE is looking for. That's how good this show is, right? They're even saying that indie wrestlers should be watching this. You're getting free coaching here, right? Let's have a look at her promo, shall we?
I've looked. There's nothing there. See? Nothing. That was like my 3rd time looking today. Of everyone telling me to watch my back. I've looked. There's nothing there. See? Nothing. That was like my 3rd time looking today.
You're going for the ditzy.
So, right, she says, everyone keeps telling me to watch my back, but nothing there. And that's like the 3rd time I've checked today. So what she's trying to do is say, like, everyone tells me to watch my back, but I'm looking at my back and there's, you know, there's no problems. And so Mickey's like, you're trying to be that sort of ditzy blonde. She's like, yeah. She's like, I get what you're going for, but that it ain't coming across, you know. So Booker said, I didn't feel the promo. I didn't buy it. If I was a fan sitting in the audience, it would have been a good time to have gone to the bathroom. But, you know, this is the thing, isn't it? We're going to watch her journey and we're going to see how she improves. So, you know, this is why some of these kind of comments are, you know, it is what it is. Word of Wrestling said, I love this app and I love wrestling. I love WWE. So, Word of Wrestling, just seeing this, I don't know how you pronounce this name. Shiloh, is it? Hill? Gives me Bray vibes. I mean, I managed to see a clip of his promo. He doesn't give brave vibes in his promo. His look, you can see him being in like a Wyatt Six or a, Wyatt family. I totally get where Word of Wrestling's coming from. But actually, his promo didn't really give those vibes with what he was saying. But he was good. He was good. He was talking and pretty generic stuff. And then they said, like, can you give me a proper wrestling, like, go off on someone? So he went off on Booker T, and he really got, like, fired up, and the judges really liked it. So, yeah, he looks like a good talent. Looks like, and actually, Undertaker during the show was like, he's going to do something. I think he's going to do something. Because he always seems to have a bit of a smile on his face. And he's like, he was running over to get his advice, and like, he seems dialed in. He seems switched on. He's got an eagerness to learn. And actually taking, that's a big one as well. Like, if someone gives you constructive feedback, can you take it without being super defensive? Because he was like, yep, brilliant. Yep, just taking it like, I hear you. You know more than I do, and I'm going to take on board what you've just said type attitude, which was great, So he came across really well, I agree. But I would say she's the one that people are buzzing about the most. Certainly on my list, people are talking about Tyra Mae Steele. The Boulder said this is officially a Tyra Mae Steele fan account now. She comes across as bubbly. She's got a bit of Naomi about her. And she's like, hard work is what I'm all about. I can do this. I think she's been put with Undertaker. And Undertaker's like, well, you give me everything you've got, and I'll contribute what I know. And she's like, yeah, let's do it. And she's just like so super dialed in, So she obviously won Olympic gold. I really like this girl because when Gable Steveson came into WWE and he was the focus, right? Gable Steveson, everyone was raving about him. They did sign her as well, and you never heard about her. She won, I think, Olympic gold as well. But for whatever reason, Gable Steveson was the focus. He was getting all the kind of attention. And we did sign her as well, but she just sort of got pushed to the side. She was sort of forgotten about. And now she's getting her opportunity to show that she was the one we should have been excited about all this time, right? And so I love the fact that she is like coming through and coming across really well. So definitely looking to see a lot more of her. Yeah. So that was LFG. As I said, I can't really give you much more than that because I didn't watch the show. I will watch it. It's on Watch Wrestling. There'll always be ways of finding it. Obviously a lot easier in America. You guys have got A&E. We don't have A&E in the UK. But there will be ways of watching it. So I will get around to watching it eventually. Right, let's go over to fun, shall we? Work our way through here. Right, this was brilliant. Karrion Kross dropping this status update, but not his status, dropping a status update for Sami Zayn. Now, this thing runs 5 minutes, and I was really trying to figure out how I'm going to present this, because we can't just play all 5 minutes. So I do have, like, key talking points that I just want to jump to. So we're going to watch 40-odd seconds, and then we'll jump, right? And I'll kind of tell you the bits that we've missed, okay?
Oh! Hey, guys! It's me, Sammy. I know I should have done a status update earlier. I have a boo-boo on my neck, so it kind of made everything more difficult. And I gotta tell you, I'm not doing great. But, I feel like I owe it to everybody to let everybody know what's going on. So I got nerve damage everywhere in my body.
I've got nerve damage everywhere in my body, right? Then we get Scarlett coming in as the nurse.
Actually, I'm not great, and is this supposed to be my medicine?
Yes, it is.
Oh, thanks. There's nothing in it. Oh, I got it because I got a taste of my own medicine 2 weeks ago when Kevin Owens pile drove me on my head.
Nice. And then he kind of cuts the act, right?
When Kevin pile drove you, Sami, and nobody came out there to help you, not a single person. Not Jey Uso, not Cody Rhodes, nobody. And what does that say to you? What does that mean to you? Do you think that you're an innocent man in all of this? Do you have any idea how much chaos you've caused? People's lives, their careers, infiltrating the bloodline for career advancement? What do you think? We were all back there, we were dying laughing. We were hoping he was going to pick you up and do it again. Oh, and I promise you, Sami, by the time this whole ordeal is done, two things are going to happen. One, Kevin's going to end your career, which I hope doesn't happen, but it could. Or two, I'm going to drag you out into the light so everybody can see you for what you really, really are. Everybody wants to know why I've been doing this to people for the last 2.5 years. If you listen closely, I just gave you the motive. All you gotta do is think about the future.
You've had a motive this whole time? I just thought you were really disturbed.
So there we go. Excellent, amazing, compelling, engrossing. Karrion Kross continues to show that he is one of the best when given an opportunity, right? You might remember when he got into the feud with the Wyatt Six, I said, I'm concerned here because I've seen enough of Karrion in the past. I saw what he could do down in NXT. I've seen what he's like on social media, and I was worried for the Wyatt Six that they weren't going to be able to hang with his charisma. I'm not so worried for Sami, right? Sami doesn't really use social media too much. I think he will get burnt on social media, but Sami's very passionate, very fiery. If they're going to go toe-to-toe in a ring, I think Sami can more than hold his own. But Karrion made some really interesting points here. So he makes fun of Sami, and then he basically goes on to say, you know, do you understand what you've done? Being in the bloodline, causing all that hurt and harm. Do you think that just goes away? Do you think you're a good person here, Sami? Right? Because you're not. You do what's right for you. And we've got a lot in common there, right? It's an excellent thing for Karrion to pick up on because, of course, Sami has had a hell of a career, yeah? He's been, I think, on the main roster for like 10 years. And so he's done a lot of good and bad. You know, he's been face, he's been heel, and there's a lot of actions there that Sami is going to struggle to kind of defend, yeah? Like when he was in with the bloodline. I mean, Sami can come back and say that he was at rock bottom, right? He needed support at that time. He found a group of people that were there for him, and he's not proud of some of his actions, but isn't that what life's about? Making mistakes, learning from them, improving, moving forward. I could see Sami cutting a promo, somewhat along those lines, right? And actually, what was really interesting was Karrion at the end saying, you know, his motive all along has been to put a spotlight and show the world what people are truly all about. So he seems to be focused on doing that with Sami now. He wants to show the world who Sami really is. And I think you've got a really good kind of foundation there for a very interesting feud between Karrion and Sami. But a few people asking, like, is this right for both of them for WrestleMania? And the honest answer is you could probably come up with better matches for both. But Sami's going to be at a bit of a dead end if we're doing Kevin Randy. I think we do Kevin Sami at Elimination Chamber. But for WrestleMania, what do you do with Sami? He's not going to be in any main events. He's not going to be in any world title matches. I don't need to see him going after a mid-card title again. We've seen him going after the tag belts. I feel like we've done everything we can do with Sami except for a world title. And that has to be on the agenda. But it ain't on the agenda for WrestleMania. So why not take one of the most underutilized, charismatic performers we have and have like a really good feud where we do like a great build and we'll do Karrion in a singles match at WrestleMania, something which he will love, going up against a very credible opponent in Sami Zayn. And Sami Zayn gets to really kind of go to war with someone that's super charismatic, puts out great online content. Honestly, I think there's a lot of dubs here. I think there's a lot to celebrate here. And I personally can't wait to see this evolve and this develop. And, you know, I'm down for this. I'm down for this. So, yeah, really, really good. Really, really good. So, excellent work from Karrion there. There was one bit where Karrion said to Scarlett, I hope you're wearing that outfit after the video as well. So, I bet they had a wonderful Sunday. So, Fade said, John Cena stopped filming to say hi to his fans and take pictures with everyone who showed up to the set. This is why he's the greatest of all time. So, here's John Cena. I don't know where he's filming. Was it Budapest or something? So, imagine getting a picture of John Cena. He's got all of his face busted open. If I had that picture, I'd be like, yeah, I messed him up just before. I said I would only stop if he promised to have a picture taken with me. So there we go. John Cena just meeting fans and people. Goes on for over 2 minutes there. Bayley on a flight, making her way to Raw, watching The Office. This is just one of those where I was like, shall I include it? It's not really anything to it, but I don't know. Sometimes it's interesting to know what superstars do as they're flying around. Then we got this look from The Miz. So he said, since it's NBA All-Star weekend, here's a throwback to the greatest shot in NBA All-Star game history. Am I wrong? This was incredible. Halfway line, nothing but net. Right as the buzzer went as well. Right as the buzzer went. The only problem was when they watched it back, they deemed that it was after the buzzer. Like the buzzer had sounded and then he threw, so it didn't count. But he still made the shot. And that was only a couple of years ago. That was The Miz. That was The Miz during the All-Star game. Incredible. So that was fun. Let's go into other. I don't think there's loads here. So Dion Lennox said done. Waiting, so just lost hope, thank you. Oh yeah, meet and greet information. This is interesting. You can actually go. So World of Wrestling, thank you. Alexa is going to be doing meet and greets. There's only about, I think it's about 8 stars that are going to do it. But if you go to this Epic Leap event, you can actually find out who's going to be doing meet and greets. So Chelsea, Alexa, Damian, Drew, I think Shinsuke, I think Street Profits, about 8 names. But Alexa by far the most exciting. But if you actually go to Epic Leap event, you can actually then click and see not only this, but loads of other meet and greet opportunities, but not for WWE. It seems like this company work with loads of companies to do meet and greets. So, yeah, worth knowing about that, to be honest. So, yeah, Alexa doing a meet and greet in Toronto. Right, why does... Oh, yeah, we got to talk about this. So here, there was so much talk about the ring being smaller, AEW's Grand Slam. Honestly, it was crazy. People have just really, gone big on this. So Buddy Matthews saw a lot of the talk about the fact the ring was smaller than usual. And I think he's tried to use it as a reason as to why he lost. But he has now deleted this, probably because people were believing that what he was saying was real. But here he said, thoughts after Grand Slam. If it wasn't for that 16 by 16 shiz wrestling ring, 1, I wouldn't have destroyed my ankle on my entrance due to the holes in the padding. 2, Okada wouldn't have been able to have got his foot on the rope and I would be champion. So I think Buddy was kind of using the fact that ring was small as a way to get a bit of heat. I'm guessing he's the heel, right? If he's a babyface, then I'll feel different. But if he's the heel, and I think he's the heel, he's probably using this as just a way of explaining his loss. But people are really going to war over this ring thing. It's bonkers, right? Look here, Tyler said, I'm hearing reports this was the size of the ring for Grand Slam. I mean, that was it there. It is smaller than usual. It is a smaller ring. It's not a big deal, though. Sean Ross Sapp said, this is completely untrue. AEW never planned to ship a ring over. They never had plans to, and that's coming from Sean Ross there. Death of AEW were making out that they were going to ship a ring, and it got, you know, they left it too late and all that sort of stuff. And Sean's like, this is just not true. Look at this as well. Kenny, for your thoughts, is like, why does the ring look so small? So he's got a picture and he's shrunk it, obviously. So yeah, loads of chatter about the ring. Some fun memes there. Brady, shout out to you, said it looks like Alexa Bliss's current character is a combination of the goddess and Dark Alexa. So this Gabriel just asking, is it a mix? And she responded with like a little devil face emoji. So make of that what you will. Sonia Bayley, look, just showing what the new Stephanie side plate looks like for those of you that are interested. I was going to play the video, but nothing happens. And Triple H got this as well. He said it's an honor to receive this. Thank you, Connecticut. So that's obviously where Triple H is from. And they are basically just congratulating him on his Hall of Fame induction. So Wrestle Night, thank you. Okay, let's go community. James getting a like from LS Dub, which is huge. But Karrion Kross and a follow as well. Amazing. Raymond, shout out to you. Getting a like from Rob Van Dam. Here we've got Brown666 getting a like from Karrion. Look at this. Casey said Lyra had her WWE party today. She just wanted to share some of the gifts that she got. Look at that. That looks nice, man. That looks nice. So a wonderful cake that Lyra had there. There's Lyra by the cake. Very good. Look at this. Look at this. Done very well. Very well. I'm actually low-key jealous. That's a lovely... I love that old blue cage. That is great. Brilliant. You've done really well there, buds. Really well. Oh, that one is stubborn. Got it. Got it. Nothing but net. So, there we go. Lyra, many congrats, my friends. Word of Wrestling getting a like from that Shiloh Hill that we saw on LFG. So, that's who Word of Wrestling's rooting for. And here as well, managed to get a reply from Karrion Kross. Karrion just giving a little winking emoji there. So, Word of Wrestling, many congrats. Always love to see members of our community getting interactions from wrestlers, likes, follows. I know that it means a lot to people. But yeah, very, very cool. Right, let's go into thanks, shall we? So, Wrestle Night, thank you. Babs the Barbarian, Milo, Chris, Casper, Bradley, Word of Wrestling, Riley, Wrestling's biggest fan, Patrick, Sweet Chin Wrestling, Big Bam, JT&S, Casper, Real Wrestling Fan, Jazza, Liam, Zhang Taesang, and Raymond. Thank you to all of you. Really appreciate the support and hope you've all had a good weekend. Obviously, we'll be back tomorrow with our Raw watch along and we'll have another Unseen after. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.